Get into the action all summer long. Listen to that. Summer.
Woo!
The season's over. The NHL season's over. The NBA season's over. But there's still lots happening at Sports Interaction, including we got the draft coming up. We got free agency coming up for both of those sports, plus tennis, golf, whatever it is you're into, baseball, all happening right now at sportsinteraction.com/SDPN.
You can bet on those things. You can bet on free agency and draft.
Exactly. And we're going to actually throw a bunch of props up in the Dangles Doozy section as well. And remember, everything's you can do before games, live and play all summer long. Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN or download the app to get started. It's 19 plus. Please play responsibly.
So Zach Hyman, he's been here for years. Heart and soul player, exactly the sort of player this team needs, let's be honest. You know, if the Leafs had added Zach Hyman this free agency, you'd be thrilled. He's going to take a hometown discount. And then at some point, people just started to ask me, why? Why? All these guys make $1 bazillion, but he's the one who does all the work. Why? And now he started scoring goals. So he's not just the grunt. He's now capable of potting 30 and doing all the work. Why is he making less than half? Why? For what? I'm taking a discount for what? Because I'm a good guy? Fuck you. I got to eat. So he goes somewhere else. And, I mean, Zach Hyman's underpaid.
Oh, for sure.
Zach Hyman was an unrestricted free agent, like, over the last 72 hours. That dude's making $7 million. Probably. Maybe more. So now William Nylander is in free agency. And they all love each other, and they're great, and they get along, and they're friends. Mm-hmm. Hey, Will, you should make $2-3 million less than Marner and Matthews. And why?
Well, let me pull the clip, Jesse. I just sent it to you. CJ talking about the William Nylander contract situation.
Oh, it's quite the clip. And
it's quite the episode.
One other name that's being looked at a lot with the Toronto Maple Leafs is William Nylander. What can we say about his status in terms of getting an extension?
Well, it's not going well. I think that's fair to say. There was a lot of discussions down at the draft in Nashville between the team and his agent. And they just see the world differently at this point in time. You know, William Nylander believes he should be a $10 million player or a little bit above that on his next contract. And, you know, he has a reasonable argument, I think, based on the points he's had. But I just don't see how the Leafs can ever make that work. And so ultimately, you know, as they work through this a little further, I think that there's going to have to be a decision on Nylander's end about how badly he wants to be a Leaf, how much less than that number he might be able to take. Because I would be stunned if we saw Toronto, you know, sign him to a contract that takes him into that realm. I think the Leafs have come at him with a number in the 8s. And that's kind of where things are at. Sometimes negotiations are rocky, though. You know, I'm not going to predict where this is headed yet. I still think that the Leafs are willing to take some time to try to work through things with Nylander's camp. Certainly value the player, but they've got to be mindful of their own books, too. And so, you know, this contract doesn't kick in until next summer. So in some ways that's good for Toronto because, you know, there is going to be that cap bump league-wide going up. But, you know, I think for Nylander, the big worry is he doesn't want to be paid so much less than Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner. He just feels internally that you know, that he has a sense of what should be fair there. And the team is looking at the marketplace. I mean, you get Pierre-Luc Dubois signing $8.5 million deal. Timo Meier got $8.8 million in New Jersey, rather, on an 8-year deal. But, you know, those are different types of players. Those guys are 6'3". You know, Dubois plays center. You know, there's no denying Nylander's skill and the fact he's actually been a Leaf that's been productive in the playoffs. Had a 40-goal year last year, more than 80 points. Let's see if they can find a happy medium in there. But my sense right now is there's a bit of a strain in negotiations with the way things have gone. I think that, you know, clearly the Leafs have a number in mind for Nylander, and he's asking for a lot more than what they're comfortable paying.
So his number, according to reports, jumped as soon as Pierre-Luc Dubois signed his extension. And, you know, initially what we were hearing was Leafs in the 7s, Nylander in the 8s. Yeah. Now we're talking Nylander in the 10s, Leafs in the 8s.
It's delusional.
Well, it is. And, you know, listen, as an agent, if you're Louis Gross, you're asking 10 because why wouldn't you ask? Yeah. But this is a player that is not that tall in terms of like Pierre-Luc Dubois tall.
He's pretty thick.
Not that physical. scores a ton of goals, and Dave Poulin keeps saying on TSN, he's like, well, he scored 20 more goals or 30 more goals than Mitch Marner in the same amount of time, and he's making $4 million less, and blah, 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 blah. Yes, but okay. Mitch Marner was coming off of a 97-point year, and William Nylander was coming after a 67-point year. There was a bit of a difference when they signed their contracts.
How many times do we got to say it?
Well, I think it's disingenuous, and I understand where Poulin's coming from, and I understand where Nylander's coming from in the sense that when you go into negotiation, you ask for an outrageously high number, and the person in the team says, well, no, but we could do this.
Pierre-Luc Dubois transitioned from winger to center halfway through his draft year, and he stuck as a center in the NHL. William Nylander hasn't done that. That costs you at least, I don't know, a chunk. Right there.
If I'm William Nylander, the first thing I'm doing is asking for $10 million because all this organization has done is overpay people. Mitch Marner is a winger who makes $11 million. That is absurd. He's still overpaid for what his value is.
Probably.
Why not ask? I don't fault the guy for asking.
I agree.
And no one should. You shouldn't be yelling at these negotiators. How dare he ask for $10 million? No, that's what you do. You ask for the sun and the moon, and then they'll say no, and then you land somewhere in the middle.
Oh, it's not anger. It's very matter of fact. Oh, that's unfortunate. All right, well, best of luck in your endeavors.
Yeah. Also,
I don't want to lose him for nothing.
For the previous conversation, before the clip, it's like there's no reason that William Nylander should take a discount. Nobody on this team has ever taken a discount. Why should he be the one to do that? And you bet in the next negotiations for Marner, Matthews, and Tavares, they're not taking discounts.
No,
so why should he do this and get screwed out of his money?
We have heard the reports that Matthews is. And I think the best negotiating ploy the Leafs have in this situation is getting Matthews done first. Because if Matthews does take the discount that he's reportedly, according to Frank Seravalli, then you go to Willie and go, listen, Matthews, let's say Matthews signs at 13.5. I'm just throwing a random number out there. We don't need to debate the number.
Not a discount.
But it is, Steve, over an 8-year deal. Don't fucking argue with me. You know that's right. You know that's fucking right.
So they're saying he would take a discount because he wouldn't take the year.
Because you know that McKinnon signed last year, and I get that. But Matthews for next season, it wouldn't even kick in till next season.
Raise another banner that gave us nothing.
Oh, okay, but let's have a real conversation about it. I know I'm feeling some salt from you here, but that's not going to take us anywhere with the convo. We have to.
40-50 never win shit.
Okay, fair enough. Forever. But 2 Rockets and a Hart Trophy.
So the reports with the he won't take he'll come a little under is because he'll only take like 3 years, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So on the 8-year, I don't imagine.
Yeah, maybe not on the 8.
And for Matthews, I'm taking that 3-year and getting the next salary cap.
100%.
You know, I'll take the 13 mil, 13 and a half, which will be a little under what he get on the 8 years, but I'm trying to get I'm trying to be in that next wave of salary cap.
Agreed. And what I'm trying to tell you is if they get, even if they don't have to lock up, why is everybody we had to lock up Willie for 8 years? We don't. The part of the problem is that some of these contracts were so locked in for so long, we couldn't move off of them.
Yeah.
And so, if you get William Nylander on a 3-year extension, good, fine. But here's what I'm going to tell you. If you can get Matthews done first and he knocks a few million off, okay, off of so let's say it's 13 or it's 12.5 or it's 12.7. So it's 100 grand more than Nate McKinnon. I don't care. Whatever the number is in your mind, you get that done first. And then you go to Willie and you go, look, Austin did it. We're not asking you to take an 8-year deal. Although if you want to, here's what it looks like. We're asking you to take a few $1 million off. And we will ask the same of Mitch Marner. And if Tavares wants to stick around, he's going to be sticking around at about half.
Oh my gosh. Tavares' next deal better be like 6.
And so... Just, if that's what we want to do here, if then you have to decide. Then it's on Willie, because what right now Willie's done a smart thing here. He has put this on the Leafs. He has taken this in a negotiation. It's what side is the impetus on, and now he has taken it and he has put it on the Leafs and said, "Listen, I have been underpaid this entire time. I've developed into a great player, and all those things can be true."
Whose fucking fault is that, Willie? You grinded. You missed 3 months of a season. And you're still underpaid? That sounds like a you problem.
Okay.
You sat out and you're underpaid. That's your fucking fault.
It actually was Dubas's fault because the number they agreed to, Dubas did not offer until the last day. So it's actually Kyle Dubas's fault.
It was very similar to the number they offered at the beginning.
Yeah, no, the William Nylander negotiations are so mind-blowing because what they landed on in the end was pretty much what they were at in September, and it all could have been resolved then.
They don't make violence.
Kyle screwed that up.
Kyle fucked it up.
Kyle fucked that up hard.
He did. Kyle fucked it up.
You know,
give him the number.
It was 6.9.
Like
was
Brad
sitting
fucked
there.
it up with Johnny Gaudreau.
Yeah.
Give him the fucking number.
Listen,
Just be like, this is our drop dead number. This is what we have.
Two things, and I'll give you the number. Number one, CJ talked about it's trending in the direction of they're going to get Nylander done before Matthews. That's not great. It's not. Like compare,
Or
like,
it's trending in from what I'm hearing is it's trending like Nylander's not getting done.
well,
That's what it sounds.
That's what CJ just told.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's getting done one way or the other.
Okay.
Right. Here's the other. So it's an ego play, right?
Sure, absolutely.
I'm not able to. I can't take this much less than this guy. This much less than this guy. This much less than this guy. Austin, 12.5. You're still fabulously rich. If you sign an 8-year deal, which you're not going to, I wouldn't at that number if I were him. But that's $100 million, and I know that because that's the contract that Connor McDavid signed. So you can sign 3 years, 37 and a half. Whew, yeah, that's pretty good living. You can be in every commercial, and also,
And what's better is we'll help you. We have all the connections in the city.
yeah. Where else? Where else, Austin? Come on. If it's not an ego play, 12.5. And the reason I say 12.5, like people are like, oh yeah, it's got to be 12.7. Why?
Because it's an ego play.
Because it's more than
You got to give him a win, Steve.
No. But this is what I'm saying. It's drop your ego. If you don't have an ego, you don't need that win.
No, but
they
it's
do.
not an amount of
But
money.
they do.
It's not
Why
an
are you
amount of
asking
money
them to do something that
It's
they don't
not
have?
an amount of money.
They have.
He even gives a shit about.
Steve.
It's about making more than McKinnon.
Of course it is. They're competitors. If he wasn't competitive, I would be upset about it.
Win more cups than McKinnon.
Okay, how many cups has McDavid won? He makes $100,000 less than McKinnon.
Yeah, but we all agree that's not his fault. We don't make that same agreement with Matt.
I don't know if I agree with that this year, actually.
Yeah? Oh, he's been so fucking dominant in the playoffs year in and year out.
I'm talking about Connor McDavid.
Oh, Connor McDavid?
Yeah, I think they had the team to do it this year, and they fucked it up.
Oh boy, Adam.
You don't think so?
I completely disagree.
No. They didn't have,
I think they could have
they
been.
didn't have the
Completely
goaltending,
disagree.
first of all.
Matthews-
Like, we can go over the Edmonton Oilers roster.
Matthews has been the Leafs.
okay, so they
best
were-
player-
they were a
Wait.
cup favorite,
The
and then
Leafs
now they're
have
not a
been-
cup favorite
The
anymore.
Leafs have been, or Matthews has been the Leafs' best player in how many playoff runs?
You know what? That's a good point.
My answer is one.
Probably one.
20, I think it was 19.
Boston, right?
Yeah,
That Boston series, he was great.
one.
Yep. Dano shut him.
Highest paid in the league.
Dano shut him down.
Highest.
Agreed. And then
Philip Deneau.
Phil Dano's pretty good.
Where's his $12.5 million contract?
That's not how
Where's
it
his
works. That's
13
not
No
how
one
it
pays
$13
as much for defense as they do offense.
Oh.
I don't think that's how it works, Steve.
I did listen. I'm a Leaf
I think
fan.
I think you're moving the goalposts a little bit on this argument. And I
Absolutely.
haven't
I'm
even,
a Leaf fan.
and I
I
haven't
want
even finished
rings.
the point I was initially going to make.
I want rings and I
because
want banners.
you're so hung up on the fucking number that I have not been able to actually give you
I'm hung
the
up
point.
on these guys' ego.
Okay, well, don't be.
Oh,
Steve,
okay.
you cover professional sports. You expect no ego? Are you kidding me?
I'm hung up
Come
on winners and
These
losers.
are you're talking about a player,
Winners and
Matthews,
losers.
who is one of the probably, if you don't want to give me top 5, give me top 10 in the world. I would have a fucking ego too, man.
Is he top 25 playoff performers?
Oh, Steven.
Oh, Adam.
Come on, man. Listen, if that's where you want to do, if that's where you want to go with this, you're going to kill every conversation. We have to have a realistic, in this world conversation about this. And what I'm trying to tell you is that Nylander needs to know from Matthews that you're going to take, let's say it's a percentage. I'm not even going to throw out a number because that just fucked the whole conversation. What I'm telling you is, okay, Willie, we agree that you're here. Let's say it's 9.5. You take 20%. Austin, are you taking 20%? Mitch, next deal, you're taking 20%? I just want to make sure, because if you guys fuck me on this, I'm so out of here.
But Adam,
They need to sit.
That's true living to the boys.
you're asking for the most naive, unrealistic thing, which is they're going to use their little network to all take less. Adam, we already know that's not their MO. Willie's going to go, what are you asking for? Matthews is going to go, what are you asking for? And both of their numbers go up.
Well,
I think
Steve.
you guys have come to the conclusion is that I don't think there's a path forward with Nylander on the team unless there's some magical world where Austin would take less and that influences him.
Did Boston not do that? Did the Boston Bruins not do that? Did they not take? I mean, Marchand signed a sweetheart deal, but they not talk about that a little bit? Did they not have a conversation between the leadership group? Hey, we need to do this a little bit because we want to win.
And I'll believe it when I see it, because
I agree with that. But Steve, the last time they signed these deals, they were 21. They're now in their mid-20s. They've gotten fucked playoff after playoff.
If they wanted to take less, they would have taken it already.
When?
It's July 4th.
When they were 20? Come on, man.
Adam, this summer.
These
summer.
deals. Well, it's only two guys.
That's not how negotiations work, man. It's going to take months. It is. It totally is, and I get that. It is. It's not that they're not
taking less.
You know what? We'll just do that.
Adam, they're good guys. They're taking less.
I didn't say that they were, but I think it's possible.
I think we're trending towards an area where William Nylander can just go to UFA or get traded and go get a giant amount of money somewhere.
Sure.
You know?
And that's a question that you have to ask yourself if you're him, is that do you want to stay with this group? And you know what? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But my point in this is, if you get Matthews done first and he takes a discount, Nylander's got nothing to say. It's like with Jack Hughes in New Jersey. They're like, well, players come in, they were like, well, we want to make more than Jack Hughes. Well, you're not fucking making more.
No, but I mean, it's like even if Austin took a discount, William Nylander can just say, I still want to get my paycheck. And he could,
in which case they're going to trade him.
And I think it's more likely that plays out than these other scenarios that you guys are trying to play through. You know, I think the most likely scenario is here that in 2024, at the beginning of the season, William Nylander is probably not a Leaf if they can't come to some sort of conclusion.
What?
You're relying on the Toronto Maple Leafs to not go back to the bank of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I just think you're sorely mistaken.
Okay.
You're putting your faith in the wrong
I think
people.
We're doing a show here, though, and what you do with the show is you play out all the scenarios. And that's what we're doing.
All the scenarios lead back to money, 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 give me more money. They're not taking less. None of them are.
That's your opinion. But it could go another way, Steve.
It's based,
just like at the end of July 1st, you put out a video saying, I don't know who the Leafs are going to play. And that video, 24 hours, looks a heck of a lot different, doesn't it?
It sure does. But this is why at the beginning I said, yeah, Max Domi, Ryan Reeves, Tyler Bertuzzi, that's all very nice. What's going on with the core? We've done the song and dance of surrounding the core with different guys. And damn it, if this wasn't the year. Luke Shen and Noel Achari, that one still hurts, and Ryan O'Reilly and Jake McCabe. Like, I think Dubas really did throw the kitchen sink, minus that first round pick. That one hurts in retrospect, but they couldn't afford anything else. So they surrounded this core with the best pieces they possibly could. I'm exhausted with the idea of watching this core fumble around and try it again for another year with different surrounding pieces, even though I am encouraged by those surrounding pieces. I keep saying the core has made too much for this team to be successful. I didn't used to think that, and then COVID happened and made the cap flat. I didn't used to think that you got to change with the evidence. So the cap stayed flat. The core made too much money, and they are not going to get better when the core takes an even bigger slice of the pie.
Would you have moved off of two or one of those core four by July 1st?
Well, Jesse, you're not moving off Matthews. I think that much is obvious. You cannot move off of Tavares. Marner has a full no move.
That's why I said prior to July 1st.
Yeah. I would have moved Marner in a heartbeat. Now, I imagine they went out and looked.
I don't know if Brad Treliving did. I
don't know.
I'm not sure.
I've heard zero on that.
I'm gonna speculate on just all the conversations we've heard. When Brendan Shanahan hired Brad Treliving, the MO was to keep them together, and that you're not going to go look to trade any of these guys.
Why get a GM?
Well, the GM he got to do the day-to-day tasks. You know, Brendan Shanahan gets to sit back and do the higher thinking. You know, and
the big brain,
and actually make the decision.
When you made the decision to let Mitch Marner go to July 1st and remain a Leaf. You made the decision to get rid of William Nylander. I think that's the beginning, middle, and end. And that's fine. I have no interest in paying my second best right winger double digits.
Yeah. See that,
and he is.
That's how it's played out to me. You know, it seems like, okay, you made the decision on Marner because it is now July 1st, 12:01, and you are stuck with him because he's never going to waive that no trade clause.
And you could be stuck with worse players.
Now it looks
it's still
like
Mitch Marner. That's pretty cool.
Now it looks like to fix that core situation where if we don't want to keep running it back, there's only one piece left you can move, which is so unfortunate because I think Willie's been the best playoff performer out of all of them.